Hello, friends. I am happy to sit with you for a few minutes and get to chat about letting go of the expectations of others. So if you're watching the replay, I'm so glad that you joined me. And I had actually come on earlier and there was no sound, so here I am again. So let's dive into it. If you are anything like myself, you might feel preoccupied with what other people think of you. You might perceive their judgments, whether they're there or not, and you will feel zapped of energy because you are consumed by the worry and the wonder of how other people are thinking. And so in letting go of expectations of others, we gain so much energy and we get back tons of joy. And I want to talk about some of the practical ways that we can do that. So we have to become comfortable in our own uniqueness. And you are unique, and it is a wonderful, good thing. And it becomes a struggle and a challenge if when we were young, who we are was not celebrated, and perhaps even before that, maybe there would be a large crowd of people that would say, I don't know if I was celebrated, but there's this other piece that we long and crave for, and it's to know that somebody is interested in us, that they want to get to know us. When we don't experience that, we can come up with a story. We can actually absorb a subconscious belief that creates this divide in us, and we don't really like who we are because we aren't sure if the other people liked who we are. And in this, it is so important that we recognize that our uniqueness is a gift and it's a wonderful thing. It's really helpful if you surround yourself with even just a few people who actually celebrate you. They like who you are. They celebrate your unique qualities, and you feel that from them. But that will never take care of a void within yourself. If deep down within yourself, you're still questioning, who am I? And do I measure up? That's an inside job. You have to put in the time and the effort and do the work to actually cultivate a love towards your own self. And I'm going to jump in a little bit to how we can do that as well. But besides getting comfortable in our uniqueness, we have to discover what our core values are and live in alignment with them. Let me give you just an example. Say you're running late somewhere and you have this perceived idea that people are going to be upset with you, disappointed in you, that you're going to be criticized, judged. And that might be the case, but it might not be the case. It could be that you grew up with parental figures that were very concerned about getting everywhere on time. Or you always ran late and you said to yourself, when I grow up, I'm not going to be that person who's late. But is it that you're living based off of your own expectations on yourself or the expectations of someone else? Are you comfortable, or could you get comfortable with being late sometimes? I'm not talking about the idea of being late all the time. That might be a pattern that someone wants to change. I'm talking about these instances when you're late. And it's worth looking inward to actually consider what's going on deeper. And is this expectation I'm placing on myself something that I want to live under? Or is this something that someone else said I should live under? Or I'm perceiving, I think somebody else wants me to live this way. When you know how you want to live and what is a big deal to you or not, then you get to create a life that aligns with that. So for example, I might say, personally, I don't mind if I'm late sometimes. Say I run a group session and somebody shows up late. It's not a big deal to me. So I know for myself that I can actually remind myself, Kareen, it's okay. It's all right if you're a little bit late. and not get into the heads of everybody else who think it's rude or it's disrespectful or whatever. And again, we could throw out any example. That's just one. But knowing what's important to us, what we value, then helps us to be able to steer ourselves in that direction. And one other thing I want to bring up is we're able to disempower that critical inner voice through self-parenting. And I've actually been thinking of it as I've been talking about these other things. Because say, for that instance where you're running late, you have the choice to get to pause in that moment where you're feeling hurried, where you're feeling pressured, where you're feeling rushed, and you have this opportunity to pause and look inward and acknowledge that I feel whatever sorts of ways I feel, and start to speak to your inner self. It might be the little kid who was 7 years old and had a parent rushing them out the door, who had a parent stressed out because you were getting out of the house late. And it could be that your body remembers that pressure and that stress, and you're feeling it residually in the present. Same sort of situation, trying to get out, running late, but your body is actually feeling this compounded emotion because of years past and the experiences you went through that mirror the one you're going through today. In that, we have the chance to be able to stop and to say, I'm just going to use myself as an example. Corrine, it's okay. I'm here with you right now. I know that you're feeling pressured. I know that you're feeling rushed. I know that you're concerned about what it will mean if you show up late, what people will think. And I just want you to know that it is okay. It is okay if you're late. I'm okay with you being late. We're going to get there. And in this, I am actually bringing a sense of calm to my inner self. Think about this idea that if it was my children who were feeling rushed by me, I have the opportunity to get down on their level and to say, Mommy's feeling rushed right now, but it's not your fault. And I know you're doing your best to get yourself out the door. So we're just going to get out as quickly as we can, but I don't want you to have to feel the tension from Mommy, because everything's going to be fine, and we're going to get where we need to go in time. There's always a way that we can meet someone else, especially our children, where they're at. In the same way, we often need to meet our inner selves where we're at. When we're feeling dysregulated, there's usually a reason for it. We don't need to figure it out, but we can pause and turn inward and offer some compassion and some attention and loving care. Now, I'm bringing up a few ways that we can actually do something to get to this place where then we aren't bothered as much by the expectations of others. I brought up this story a few days ago. I was painting on Sunday, and I didn't know what I was going to create when I started. And then once I got into it, I was having fun, but I still didn't know what it was going to look like in the end. I put a splash of paint here, a stroke of a brush there, and in the end, I created something that spoke to me and something that I was super proud of. But the reason I was able to enjoy the experience, the reason it was peaceful, was because I didn't care what anybody else in the room thought. I wasn't looking for their opinions necessarily. I would have been interested to know how the painting spoke to them. I didn't mind if they didn't like it. I wasn't there worried about any of that. And in contrast, I know what it's like to sit there wondering what everybody else is thinking, to almost be painting for other people, to feel stressed out and not at all have a good time. So I know the contrast, but because in many ways doing the inner work has allowed me to come to this place where I don't mind if somebody doesn't like what I like. I don't mind if they disagree. I don't mind if they pass a judgment on me, because I recognize they're allowed to hold their own beliefs, their own ideas, and I can hold space for mine. And is this layered? Is there a lot to this idea of how to get to this place where we let go of the expectations of others? Of course. And if you're interested in doing that work, I'm ready to help you. I am skilled at helping people let go of people pleasing and start to embrace their authentic selves, start to love the person they are, and create a life that aligns with what is valuable to them. In this, we often have to let go of the ideas, the beliefs, the expectations that our parental figures had of us or might still have of us. And even though we're adults, that is really some hard work, but it's definitely doable, and it will get you to a place that feels better than you've ever known. Not having to live based off of what anybody else thinks is such a freeing place. It doesn't mean you don't care about anyone else. It doesn't mean that you're not ever going to look for outside wisdom, but you're not going to be in your head dominated by what other people think or what you perceive that they think of you. And that, my friend, is a happy way to live. So if you want to dive more into this, please reach out, send a DM, set up a discovery call, find a way to connect with me, and I can come alongside and help you out. For now, I'm going to hop off, and I hope that whatever time of day you're at, that you are doing well and that the rest of your day is better than expected. Thanks for joining.